Okay, so this is day one of the FIFA Club World Cup 2025, and the first inaugural match ended up with a 0-0 draw between Egyptian Al Ahly and the American Inter Miami. Now, I personally thought that Messi was going to do something, even though I lean more towards Ronaldo in favor of the debate. And I think you can clearly see why I favor Ronaldo. Messi got injured a lot. He missed a lot of chances. And honestly, the keepers were the only people standing out. Well, while Al Ahly at some time in the first half did put the ball in the back of the net, it was for offside. No one scored anything else. Also, Ushtari saved a penalty. If that penalty had gone in, Al Ahly would be 3 points up. But instead, it's 1 point for each of them, and it's a draw, a goalless draw. Today is day 2 of the FIFA Club World Cup. Now, starting with the first of 3 matches, I obviously expected Bayern Munich to dominate the match against Australian team Auckland City, but boy, did they really live up to my expectations. 10-0 is absolutely wild, but I can't really say much because honestly, I didn't even know that Auckland City existed until today. And also, obviously, PSG, who won the Champions League less than a month ago, dominated against Atletico Madrid 4-0, so that's expectable. And my evil rivals Palmeiras tied with Porto. Honestly, all Group A had this match day so far was just ties. Al Ahly versus Inter Miami was 0-0, and now this? Well, that's something new. Today is day 3 of the FIFA Club World Cup. And here in the first match, Brazilian team Botafogo won 2-1 against American MLS club Seattle Sounders. Yes, and this is the first win where the losing team got at least 1 goal, 2-1. And for the second match, Chelsea beat LAFC by 2-0. Honestly, I expected this to happen. Chelsea were the big fat European British team. And for the last match, as you can see, Boca Juniors and Benfica tied 2-2. I want to tell you something real quick. This was basically Portugal and Argentina as a club version rivalry. Boca Juniors is from Argentina, and Benfica would have lost if it weren't for a last-minute goal from Nicolas Otamendi. Respect to you if you saw this match, because this is the first ever draw in this tournament that was not goalless. Today is day 4 of the FIFA Club World Cup. Okay, so the first match I'm going to tell you about is Flamengo 2-0 against ES Tunis. Now, suspecting that I have no idea about anything about ES Tunis besides the fact that it's in Tunisia because of the name, and the fact that Flamengo is in my country and it's the first place in the Brazilian Serie A, I obviously expected Flamengo to take full dominance in this game. Also, Fluminense tied 0-0 against Borussia Dortmund, and apparently Jude Bellingham's younger brother is there for some reason. I don't know, but yeah, Brazilian clubs always tie here with the European ones. Just that Dortmund has more attention because it's European. But yeah, the goalkeeper Fabio is 44 and he's so good. And last but not least, the River Plate in Argentina versus the Urawa Reds. I don't know how to pronounce that, but obviously I expected River Plate to win this because I don't even know if Urawa is from Japan or something. But yeah, those are the games so far. Today is day 5 of the FIFA Club World Cup. And in this matchup, South African team Mamelodi Sundowns beat the South Korean Ulsan by 1-0. And here, Monterrey, which is a Mexican team, beat runners-up of the Champions League. Well, actually, they tied, but it was 1-1. What I'm surprised about, though, is how defense legend Sergio Ramos is for some reason in that team. Well, what's also not a surprise is that Man City won 2-0 against Arab team Wydad AC. Is that Arabic or Egyptian? I don't know where Wydad is from, but it's definitely from that part of the Middle Eastern world. Lastly, in the craziest match so far, Real Madrid tied with Al Hilal. They don't even have Neymar. And I don't know who scored for Real Madrid because I don't know who Gonzalo Garcia is. Probably because he's new, but still. Al Hilal, Real Madrid should have really picked up the pace. They even have Trent Alexander-Arnold now. Please, don't be that bad. Here are the last matches in the match day 1 of the FIFA Club World Cup. First, we got Pachuca, which is in Mexico, and RB Salzburg in Austria. And bro, this match was suspended due to bad weathering when RB Salzburg was 1-0 up. And then even though Pachuca equalized, RB Salzburg got a winner. Sorry, Pachuca, even though I'm not really a fan of Mexican soccer. And then, in a very unsurprising manner, Al Ain lost to Juventus, the big fat Europeans, by 5-0. Honestly, I expected Juventus to win. Like, I didn't really expect nothing else to occur, so I'm good. Also, happy Juneteenth, because it is June 19th, 2025. Today is day 6 of the FIFA Club World Cup. First match of match day 2, my evil rivals Palmeiras literally won against Al Ahly. Al Ahly, you had one job to keep my Brazilian rivals out of here. I'm a Corinthians fan. But also Inter Miami somehow picked up the pace and beat up Porto 2-1. Porto. Did that sound better in my head? I don't know. And last but not least, unsurprisingly, Atletico Madrid, the European Spanish big shots, beat MLS club Seattle Sounders that didn't make a sounder. Okay, I'm just way too corn jokes anyways. But yeah, they beat them 3-1, and, you know, safe to say this was highly expectable. Except Palmeiras, bro. You had one job, Al Ahly. Today is day 7 of the FIFA Club World Cup. First match, which is actually a shocker and a not shocker at all, was Botafogo winning 1-0 against PSG. Now, if you don't know, Botafogo is in Brazil, and Botafogo is basically the defending champion of South America, just like how PSG is the defending UEFA Champions League champion of Europe. Now, honestly, they train more in South America, so I'm not surprised, but you might because you've never heard about South America, presumably. And, as well as my Brazilian prophecies coming true, Flamengo beat the European big shots against Chelsea 3-1. Like, Chelsea were winning 1-0. Then they gave them the 3 treatment. I mean, I'm not biased or anything, but yeah, that's pretty expectable from South America. And also, Benfica won 6-0 against Auckland City. If I'd actually paid attention to the existence of this match, I wouldn't have expected anything less. And last but not least, ES Tunis, in a shocker even for me, beat LAFC 1-0. Honestly, I never know how these Arab teams do, so I'm the last one to be speaking about this. Today is day 8 of the FIFA Club World Cup. Okay, and Bayern beat Boca Juniors 2-1 in this second match day. I can't say I'm surprised. I kind of expected this to occur because, you know, big fat European big shots. And Boca Junior is not Brazilian. They're Argentine. So, yeah. Also, for the same European big shot vibes, Dortmund beat South African team Mamelodi Sundowns. Now, I believe they're better than South Korea's Ulsan, but they're definitely not going to compete in European levels. Not at all. Also, runners-up in the UEFA Champions League, Inter Milan beat what I believe the Japanese Urawa Reds 2-1. Also, last but not least, Fluminense beat South Korean Ulsan 4-2. Like, bro is out of the World Cup, and it's South Korean Ulsan. That's actually a metropolitan city in South Korea. But anyways, fun fact, my dad and his friends wanted to watch the Fluminense match, so they did an entire barbecue at our house just to see Fluminense win. You know what? It is Brazil, so if it's not Palmeiras, I guess I'm for them. Today is day 9 of the FIFA Club World Cup. First up, we got River Plate, who tied 0-0 in a goalless draw against Mexican club Monterrey. Second of all, a cool highlight, Juventus winning 4-0 against Wydad. This is their second loss. They're already eliminated. But honestly, I kind of expected this to happen. I'm kind of predicting all these in my mind. Speaking of what you expect to happen, Real Madrid, one of the Giga Chad European teams of soccer, beat Pachuca 3-1. Now, I kind of expect this to happen because, you know, Real Madrid are tough opponents. Congrats, Real Madrid. But I feel bad for anyone who wanted Pachuca to win because, honestly, this was a tough matchup. RB Salzburg also tied with Al Hilal in a boring goalless draw, to say the least. And last but not least, Al Ain is knocked out of here. Manchester beat them 6-0. Manchester City. They and Juventus are certainly going to make it to the knockouts. Today was day 10 of the FIFA Club World Cup. Today was also the start of match day 3, and Group B has concluded everything. Seattle Sounders, you were in the group of death, so I kind of don't blame you. But PSG obviously was going to win. They were the former Champions League winners, and they won 2-0. They qualified to the knockouts. However, although Atletico Madrid won 1-0 against Brazilian Botafogo, they still did not qualify. Like, every of these 3 teams, PSG, Botafogo, and Atletico, they had 6 points each. So, Atletico barely lost out on qualification to the knockout stage. And that's kind of crazy because they had 2 of their 3 games that they won, and they still couldn't qualify. I never thought this could happen in my life, but apparently, what do I know? A team with 6 total points out of possibly 9 losing out on qualification. Oh, man. Today is day 11 of the FIFA Club World Cup 2025. First of all, Inter Miami and Palmeiras. Bro, Palmeiras are my rivals, and they really had to tie 2-2. Inter Miami, you had one job, and in less than 10 minutes left of the match, you blew it. Well, in an even better thriller, Al Ahly and Porto tied 4-4. Bro, literally, the first and third match day, it was just ties from Group A. And apparently, both of these teams were eliminated anyway. Al Ahly could never keep a lead. Like, somehow, after a single goal, every time they took the lead, they were choking so hard that Porto had to equalize. Oh my. But what's even worse is how Auckland City, who have been trash this entire time, managed to tie with Boca Juniors 1-1. Boca Juniors, are you that horrible? Or were you legit just choking today? Auckland City was a pretty easy target. And last but not least, all these matches were surprising, but this one was also extremely surprising to say the least. Benfica, how did you win 1-0 against Bayern Munich? I thought they were big, fat, and strong. Well, I guess both of y'all are I don't know, big shots from Europe, but from Portugal, I'd kind of expect a little less, you know? Oh well, there's already been a few teams that already qualified for knockouts. Today is day 12 of the FIFA Club World Cup. Okay, so first match day 3 thing today that I will talk about is Flamengo versus LAFC. They tied 1-1, and apparently Flamengo did qualify to the knockouts, top of their group, and LAFC were obviously eliminated. Next, we got the big fat European big shot Chelsea, who won 3-0 against the African club ES Tunis, which all I know is that they're from Tunisia. Literally nothing else. I kind of expected them to lose, and apparently they're knocked out too. Dortmund also won unsurprisingly against Ulsan. Like, bro, Mamelodi Sundowns beat them first, and then Fluminense 4-2, and now Dortmund. I guess Asian clubs really are horrible. And last but not least, I have here a goalless draw between the South African Mamelodi Sundowns and the Brazilian team Fluminense. Today is day 13 of the FIFA Club World Cup. And here in the last match day, here in Group B, Monterrey beat the Japanese Urawa Reds 4-0. Urawa, I don't know what to say, but there really isn't much to say. You were definitely a very small team in here. I feel bad, but Sergio Ramos was at Monterrey. Next up, unsurprisingly, big shots and runners-up to the Champions League, Inter Milan beat River Plate 2-0. And finally, the GOAT debate of Group G has been settled in match day 3, with Manchester City beating Juventus a whopping 5-2. Also, at least Al Ain won once, but they won 2-1 against Wydad AC. Honestly, the time I'm recording this, Real Madrid is playing against RB Salzburg and Al Hilal against Pachuca for the last match. I'll update you guys on that match tomorrow, but 14 of 16 teams have been confirmed to go to the knockouts. Honestly, it's 10 p.m. right now because I hadn't had access to internet. I drove all the way from the north of the U.S. to Florida because plane tickets were getting out of hand. That's what I'm going to say. Today is day 14 of the FIFA Club World Cup. And for the first of 2 matches, the last in the group stage, Real Madrid beat RB Salzburg in the Club World Cup. Bro, this Club World Cup is legit the first time I've ever heard about Gonzalo Garcia from Real Madrid. He already scored twice. And yeah, RB Salzburg, you're out. You're third place. And then last but not least, Al Hilal beats Pachuca 2-0 late at night. But yeah. Okay, so Al Hilal and Pachuca. Al Hilal, I think they qualified to the next round. But unfortunately, Pachuca was eliminated without winning a single game. On the bright side, though, they got 2 goals, so that's complimentary, especially for something like a group of death, if you ask me. Okay, so all round of 16 teams have been selected. Palmeiras will face Botafogo, Benfica will face Chelsea, Inter Milan will beat Fluminense, or will face them. I'm not going to say beat, because, you know, Brazil. Man City will face Al Hilal. PSG will face... If PSG beat Inter Miami, they'll be beating both teams interconnected. Get it? Because Inter Milan, they beat them up, and if they beat Inter Miami, they beat them Inter. And then I can't really see because some stuff is covering. But yeah, y'all probably know how many teams qualified. Today is day 15 of the FIFA Club World Cup. First up, we got Palmeiras beating Botafogo, both Brazilian teams, 1-0 on extra time, bro. Botafogo, you had one job. They're my rivals. I'm a Corinthians fan. Palmeiras should not be winning. But at least I think the next team can deal with them for certain 2021 reasons. But they gotta play good in order to beat them. Speaking of that team, Chelsea beat Benfica 4-1. And this match was suspended for God knows how long, just because of some weather threat or whatever. But yeah, Chelsea was winning 1-0 because of a free kick, and then it was 1-1 at the last few minutes. And then Chelsea, I don't know how, but they scored 3 goals in like just a few minutes, which is really crazy. But it is 4-1. Benfica sold. However, the really cool excitement is the fact that Chelsea and Palmeiras will face off like they did in 2021. Chelsea, please, pelo amor de Deus, you have to win this for Corinthians. Please, we're rooting for you. You just have to beat Palmeiras. How hard can it be? Today is day 16 of the FIFA Club World Cup. The first match I have right here is PSG beating Inter Miami 4-0. And as you can see, it's the end of the road for Messi. Now, I personally thought that Messi was going to be like at least 1 goal. I thought that PSG was going to win. I knew they had a big chance of winning, but I thought it was going to be like 2-1. Like a little smaller. I keep forgetting that it's not just Messi though. But the keeper for Inter Miami used to be really good. I mean, a game is 90 minutes, and that's only 4 goals in 90 minutes, so And then the next match is Bayern Munich, who beat Brazilian Flamengo 4-2. Now, it was either going to be the very hard-working South Americans, particularly Brazil, or the big-shot Europeans, such as Bayern. But unfortunately, both teams that went to the last 8 were European. Well, in today's episode. Palmeiras was there, even though I hate Palmeiras. And there was Chelsea. Chelsea, please beat Palmeiras next time. But at least 4 out of 8 teams have already qualified for the next stage. Today is day 17 of the FIFA Club World Cup. First up, we got Fluminense, a Brazilian club from my country that beat Inter Milan 2-0.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool. Because, you know, we are the South American squad and we're beating the big shots. And honestly, we're not the only ones with this vibe this day.
Yeah.
And fun fact, I'm so shocked about this, but Al Hilal also beat the European big shots Manchester City 4-3. That's actually kind of crazy, because like they're from Saudi Arabia. I didn't really know how they could compete or how strict their football is. But yeah, 4-3 for Al Hilal. So that means Fluminense will play against Al Hilal. I think they have what it takes to beat them. But so far, the only round of 16 players that have not competed are Dortmund, Real Madrid, Juventus, and Monterrey. So let's see how that turns out next time.
Bye-bye.
Today is day 18 of the FIFA Club World Cup. Like, we're done with the round of 16. I mean, this was highly expectable, but Real Madrid beat Juventus 1-0. And I honestly have to look into Gonzalo Garcia. He's looking like a Giga Chad, especially in this tournament, bro. If it weren't for him, Real Madrid would have gone to extra time, and who knows what would have happened. But yeah, Gonzalo Garcia has done way more than we know. So maybe he should get the first team prize and stay with the first team for a bit. Even though Endrick's Brazilian, I kind of want him to get to a club where he has more playtime, so I'm pretty sure Real Madrid, unfortunately, is not the best option. Maybe somewhere like, I don't know, give suggestions, I don't know. Also, in a hard-fought 2-1 loss, but Dortmund won against Monterrey 2-1. If you're a Monterrey fan, I am so sorry, but they lost, unfortunately. It looks like some of the stats were in favor of them, but it was the goals that mattered. Guerassi defeated your dreams, didn't he? And now here are the stuff for the quarterfinals. Palmeiras versus Chelsea, just like the other match in history. Fluminense and Al Hilal, PSG and Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid and Dortmund. There's only like 3 non-European teams. 2 of them are Brazilian. One of them I tolerate from Brazil, and the other's like Al Hilal. Today is day 19 of the FIFA Club World Cup and the start of the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
First, we got Fluminense, who beat Saudi Arabian Al Hilal 2-1 to bag a spot of the semifinals. Honestly, I really think Fluminense has the full potential to at least make it to the final, because already they are the only non-European team and the only South American one to still be in the competition. And then we have Chelsea, who beat Palmeiras 2-1. And as a Corinthians fan, I see this as an absolute win. I'm so happy that Chelsea were able to finally knock my rivals out. Now I can finally sleep peacefully at night. And now 2-1. It was 1-1 at first. Cole Palmer scored first, but then Estevao, who will move to Chelsea soon, equalized. But then a Palmeiras own goal, thank God, let Chelsea win 2-1 like they did in 2021. Thank you, friends. And do you know what this means? It means that the first 2 teams that will go to the semifinals will be Chelsea and Fluminense. I gotta see how this one turns out, because I'd be happy either way, whoever won. Today is day 20 of the FIFA Club World Cup. We've ended the quarterfinals already. We're almost done with the whole thing. Anyways, this first matchup we have was PSG beating Bayern Munich 2-0. As you can plainly see, both of the goals came in very late. Desiree Doué scored in the 78th minute to score the opener. Also, Pacho and Lucas Hernandez from PSG were sent off before Frenchman Ousmane Dembele finished it off with a second goal, and it was the one that secured PSG's win. Honestly, I kind of expected PSG to win more because they are the Champions League winners. And, you know, Harry Kane, you're not winning anything more than that Bundesliga. And second of all, we got Real Madrid, who beat Dortmund 3-2. Honestly, while this was a tight win, I kind of expected Real Madrid to win, you know. Also, Gonzalo Garcia is a pretty cool goal-scoring machine. He should be, secured like a Real Madrid legend or something. You gotta sign him and make him stay. Keep him. But anyways, we also have Fran Garcia. I have barely any idea who that is. But then Kylian Mbappe, at last, he's coming back to score a goal, and he did. Allegedly, it was a scissor kick. I have not looked at the highlights yet. But yeah, Dortmund came close in the final added time minutes of the game. But still, they were always going to lose. The penalty was not going to do anything, would it? And this basically means that Fluminense and Chelsea and PSG and Real Madrid will face off into each other in the semifinals, which will take place in July 8th and July 9th. Today is day 21 of the FIFA Club World Cup. Almost at the end, we've started the semifinals. And the bearer of bad news to Brazilian football, Chelsea has just beaten Fluminense 2-0. Now, I genuinely thought Fluminense would have more of a chance, but these people were equally tasked, and I'm happy either way as a Corinthians fan. Chelsea's a good team. Also, apparently the guy who scored was called João Pedro, and he's a youngster on his debut. And what's crazy is how he respected these people twice. Like, Chelsea were the dominant people all over the pitch, but in the end, both goals came from a debut man called João Pedro, and he looks really promising. And I can see he scored 2 really cool bangers, a curler and like one that went under the crossbar, and he did the respect celebration both times, so that's really good of him. And all this goes to show that Chelsea have just claimed their spot in the World Cup final, the Club World Cup final 2025. Now it's up to PSG and Real Madrid to fight off for the second spot. Today is day 22 of the FIFA Club World Cup. Done with the semifinals, we are very close to the final. Bro, rest in peace to every Madrid fan out there. I feel horrible for you guys because PSG beat them 4-0. Now, honestly, they did just lose their manager, Carlo Ancelotti. He's now coaching my people in Brazil, so I'm not too mad about his decision. I really like that he's there now. But Xabi Alonso now feels bad. But honestly, this is PSG, so I kind of expected them to have a win or so. I mean, I thought it was going to be evenly matched, but, you know, PSG did win the Champions League, and they've also booked their ticket into the final, the grand final. Like, bro, you didn't even get a single chance. Like, before I could even watch a single bit of the match, like, 2 goals were made. Like, 2 goals were scored that quickly. And then Fabian Ruiz got his last. And then towards the end of the whole match, Gonzalo Ramos came on and made it 4-0. I feel terrible for you guys, but also kind of happy for PSG. So just so we're clear, that's good for them that they went. They'll be facing Chelsea in the final. Right over there, Chelsea versus PSG. I'm going to bet on PSG. I bet $0 that PSG is going to win. Because, you know, I just feel like it's obvious. They're the favorites going into this match. Today is day 23 and the final day of the FIFA Club World Cup. And yes, the upset happened. Chelsea beat PSG 3-0 to win the whole Club World Cup. You know what? Good for them. But PSG, I was really expecting you to win. But you know what? It is what it is. Cole Palmer put in the first 2 goals in the 22nd and 30th minute respectively. And then João Pedro put in the last goal of the 43rd minute. And I'm pretty sure the possession and all the stats are like evenly matched. But you know, Chelsea came out victorious just like they did against Palmeiras. So that's good. But also, look at these stories. You know how Trump attended the Club World Cup final? He literally decided that soccer was going to finally be called football, you Europeans. And fans still booed Donald Trump. Like, bro, he saved us from World War III with Iran and Israel, and y'all are ungrateful. But at least, you know, the Club World Cup came to an end. It was a really memorable thing, to say the least.